اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد.
Okay, Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een, bi rahmatika arhamar rahimin. So inshallah, we don't have a lot of time, but I want to do my best, inshallah, and cover this topic. So I want to go into the Quran thing, and I know all of you are interested in that. The idea of these lectures are, so when you stand in the Taraweeh, even if you don't understand Arabic, I'll give you the gist of every juz. I'm going to spend about 10 minutes or 15 or so on that. My plan was to do 6 today, but I don't think so I'm going to be able to do 6 today because the Indian government's very close to my heart. Whenever I speak about them, I actually get carried away. So you never know how far I go. But anyways, whenever I speak about them, I actually speak from my heart. So I want to actually start with this because someone asked me a question last week. So you need to understand, first I want to give you some homework. I can see a lot of people over here and some learned people. There is a professor of genocide who actually gave 10 principles on genocide. So his name is Gregory Stanton. So when you actually go and look it up. So he actually was the one who spoke about the Rwanda genocide. And he said there were 10 stages of that. And when people came into those stages, the genocide happened. According to him, India is in the 8th stage of genocide. And he thinks that it's not far away. His name is Gregory Stanton. So basically the first stage is classification. The second one is symbolization. The third one is discrimination. The fourth one is dehumanization. And the fifth one is organization. And the sixth one is polarization. India's already been past the Muslim polarization. And then seventh is preparation. And eighth is persecution. So right now India, according to Gregory Stanton, is in the 8th stage of leading to a genocide. And basically he wrote these principles on Hitler. That was the start of his research on what happened to the Jews and the genocide that happened in Germany. So basically he puts it into perspective that way. But also about Rwanda, he was the one who actually rung the alarm bell saying that the genocide's about to happen. So if you guys know about Rwanda, you should know about the genocide that happened over there. And so he was the one who actually classified it as well. Now after these there are 2 stages, which is extermination. And the final one is denial. They haven't done anything. So the final one is denial. So at the moment, according to, and I want to give you why I feel like I am with the Gregory Stanton, because Amit Shah just recently called the Muslims termites. And he said they're eating away our country. So we should do something about these termites. So basically he's calling for sectarian violence, and that's what he's calling for. And Amit Shah, if you don't know, is the right hand man of Modi and Amit Shah. And understand that I don't want to make big claims over here, but understand the Gujarati community, when it comes to the Hindu Gujarati community, they do have a lot of malice towards Muslims. Particularly, the North Indians have shown more disrespect and malice towards the Muslim community. It's not the South Indians have got nothing to do with that. They've been living, the South Indians, if you know, are the ones who speak a different language as well. So, Chennai, Tamil and all those people, so they're the South Indians. The darker looking skinned people. And they don't even speak Hindi as their language. They actually, the Indian ruling party, BJP, does not even win from South India. They don't even actually win from there. So the North India, particularly some of you, if you migrated from India, your grandparents, your ancestors were from the UP, which is the Uttar Pradesh. And you've got Gujarat, which is actually Gujrat genocide. Just to give you a perspective, what BBC showed, and it's not something unknown, and if you have lived in your living memory, I can see everyone over here, except for your children, that you were probably not alive in 2002. Apart from, I mean, if I'm wrong, maybe I'm looking at you guys like you're in a very different way and you look too old to me, but I do feel like you were alive at 2002 and you had some senses. Now, just to give you a perspective, 1,044 people died. That's what BBC showed in that documentary. They said 790 Muslims out of that 1,044. And there was also, the others were Hindus, they said. And to be honest, I mean, to also give it to the Indian, the Hindu side, the violence broke out in the train station where it was the Muslim majority area. So basically, they were calling them out, and there were these students over there serving the tea, and the violence broke out, and they burned one of the carriages of the train. And from there, some people died. And that's when Modi was the chief minister of Gujarat. He was the main man. You know, the premier of New South Wales? He was the premier of Gujarat state. That's how you can call him. And he banned the organizations, the humanitarian organizations to come in. Now, BBC shows, and I feel for the little ones, and I don't know if they can cover their ears or not. BBC shows there were 250 girls raped between the ages of 11 and 18. And this is the Hindu mob that came out. And basically they said they were not worried about who it was. They even cut the stomach of the mothers who were carrying babies to let the fetuses out. And they had free reign for the whole entire day. And the day was the 28th of February 2002. That's not far away. I mean, we're today the 17th of February. Only happened 19 years to be very precise, and 10 days short of a 20-year anniversary. Actually, 10 days short of a 21-year anniversary. And that's what really happened on that day. Now, mutilation happened. They cut the throats of the women. They targeted infants, children, women, not just men. And that's what really happened. So I actually want to read something, and this is our Honourable Prime Minister from UK. He actually said this. There's a Pakistani MP, and you probably have heard, his name is Imran Hussain, in UK Parliament. He calls out, and he said to the Prime Minister, he says, Honourable Prime Minister, what are you going to say now? Because we are going in a trade deal with India. Are you still going to go in a trade deal with India after finding out the guy who was behind the genocide and the murders of a community? And this is what Modi had to say. It's not my words, and I don't want to say anything. This is Rishi Sunak. If you guys don't know the background of Rishi Sunak's a Gujarati. So if you don't know, and he's the Prime Minister of UK. Now, the funny thing is, I actually gave a speech not long ago, it's less than a year, it's on my channel as well. I said, the white people, when they brought the lady, I even forget the name, the amount of Prime Ministers England's had in the last 3 months, it's kind of like, you know, even the shelf life of the products in the grocery store is longer than the time of the Prime Minister, which have changed from September to now. I can't remember the name really, that lady. So basically, that lady was actually not educated as Rishi Sunak was. She was not loaded as Rishi Sunak was. And she had nothing for her except for the color white. And when she went to the party, she actually won and she became the Prime Minister. And the rest, as you know, there's a fund that's made. She didn't even make 51 days in office. And they said the life of lettuce is even more than the life of the Prime Minister. That was a joke actually in the UK Parliament. So Rishi Sunak's lasted 3 months. So congratulations to him. And I don't know how long is he going to last. So this is his words. So he said the UK government's position on that is clear and long-standing, and it has not changed. And he says, of course, we do not tolerate persecution anywhere, but I am not sure that I agree at all the categorizations that the honorable gentleman has put forward. So Imran Hussain actually put a long spiel and he said, I actually don't agree with what you're saying. And also he discounted, he said, we think that this is a propaganda piece. This is Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of UK, calling out the national broadcasting channel of UK. BBC is funded by British government. It's not like we're not speaking about a private channel. This is the Prime Minister who actually gives money from the public office to BBC to run, and he says, we think this is a propaganda piece designed to push a particular discredited narrative. The bias, the lack of objectivity, and the continuing colonial mindset is blatantly visible. So basically what he's saying, we have full support for Modi, and we do not think he's done anything like that. So this is, as you know, I actually don't want to go much more into that, but this is something which has been happening for a long time. And if you guys don't know, you can actually look it up. There's a guy from Australia. He's a Muslim supporter and he speaks about Muslims a lot. He's got a channel. He does very short videos about, I can't remember his name. I can quickly tell you because I was actually listening to one of his talk just very recently. Yeah, his name is CJ Velleman. So you probably heard about him. CJ Velleman actually is not a Muslim. He's an Australian. He speaks a lot about Muslims. And he made a video where the Hindus are celebrating the earthquake in Turkey. So the Hindu mob, they're actually celebrating the earthquake that came in Turkey, and the tweets were out, karma for the Ottoman Empire, what you did, you have now received it. So this is the mentality that we're dealing with. And you know what, a lot of times I don't like to speak about politics in that way, because I'm a history student, I love history, and I want to actually speak about history. I am thankful, if you are from Pakistan, I am thankful to Muhammad Ali Jinnah. At least we live in Pakistan and we can breathe as a Muslim. Although I may not agree with everything that he did, but I think I'm thankful for him to create that country. Personally, myself, I have not even lived in Pakistan. I have only been there 3 times in my life. And the last time I went there was 2006. But personally myself, I have no connection with Pakistan, but I am thankful. At least they gave us a country which is corrupt, which is dying. At least we don't cut the throats of our own people. We are stealing money. I mean, we're probably the most corrupt country on the world, but we live in safety with the other people, you know. We don't have an issue that we're not going to be, someone's going to cut our throat. So, you know, we're thankful for that to Muhammad Ali Jinnah. May Allah bless him. And one of the other things that people always argue that he died as a non-Muslim, but let me tell you, his janazah was actually led by Mufti Shafi Usmani. As the father of Mufti Taqi Usmani. And the thing in the Deoband Madaris is that Muhammad Ali Jinnah actually converted to the Sunni proper Islam in his last days. So yes, we know his background. He was a Parsi, you know, the fire worshipper. I think that's the start of his journey. And then also he had the Shia tendencies. And later on, I mean, there's a lot of stories. But what to me and to you, our religion says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. You all go to Friday prayers. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And do not die until you died as a Muslim. So for me, he died as a Muslim. So his chapter is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the brother just said, when he was doing the fundraiser, and we feel those people are in a better place. Now their book is with Allah. It's me and you. And today, that's why my khutbah was about Malcolm X. And Malcolm X, if you know, had a similar story as well. You guys probably don't know this. Malcolm X was only Muslim for 3 months of his life. Now you guys must be like, what? He was only Muslim for 3 months of his life. And we venerate him. He was a minister of Nation of Islam for 12 years of his life. Nation of Islam believe God is black, angels are black, Satan is white. And that's what Nation of Islam is. And do you know what? They actually come for Hajj every year. Their leader, Louis Farrakhan, they're very much a religion like you know, which is Ahmadi. You all know the religion Ahmadi, right? They have prophets coming one after the other. In Nation of Islam, they've got prophets as well. Malcolm X was the next prophet in line. He knew that he was about to become, because Elijah Muhammad, the prophet, the last prophet they had, he passed the baton to his son Wallace Muhammad. And he did not pass it to Malcolm X. Malcolm X was funded to go to Hajj, and he went to Hajj and he became a proper Muslim. He only lived 39 years. From that 39 years, he only had 3 months of Islam in him. That's it. So again, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. Don't be proud to be a Muslim. Everyone over here, be proud of living as a Muslim. That's the point over here. Don't be proud if your father was a Muslim or your mother was a Muslim. Be proud. How do you live? Do you live as a Muslim? And I told the children today, and this is something, and I'll, inshallah, we'll go back to what we want to do, but very quickly, I told the children today, I said, we have a lot of non-Muslims in our school, and I've got my favorite student at the back, my former student, he always comes to my lecture, and I say to, he's sitting at the back, he's smiling. His name's one of the leaders of the Persians as well, Arsalan, if you know that. I mean, one of the most powerful warriors of the time. So basically, my point was I was trying to make to the children, I said, you want to do da'wah, you want to convert these non-Muslims. In the school that we go, we've got a lot of non-Muslims over there. I was speaking to a non-Muslim, he's a non-Muslim teacher, and he was talking to me. He said, I want to go and teach in Japan. I said, what's so good about Japan? Why do you want to go there? He said, there is no behavioral issues over there in the classroom. I was amazed. I said, if our children in Muslim school had no behavioral issues, every month there'd be a non-Muslim teacher becoming a Muslim. Why? Because he's going to come and ask the children, what religion do you follow? Are you guys okay? You don't even talk, you just listen to us. And subhanAllah, I gave the khutbah. When I finished it, we had behavioral issues in the salah after that. So, as you know, I would love to go to Japan as well to teach. And this is what it is, seriously, I want to go to Japan. I don't want to be here anymore. So I might be having no behavioral issues over there. SubhanAllah, this is how our Muslims were. We want to do da'wah, we want to put these Qur'ans out on the benches, and we want to call people and put these pictures. I tell you, brothers and sisters, live as a Muslim and you'll start changing the community. You know, when they see the guy with the longest beard doing speed and the police pulls you over, sir, were you okay? Why were you driving fast? I don't know, sorry, I don't know. And then you start arguing, and then the women that wears hijab and she's smoking argila, and then the people become confused. What are you doing in the shisha lounge? And so that's why when you are wearing these garbs, you have to wear them with pride, and it comes with a responsibility. You know, I gave this story many times. I don't like to brag on about myself. In the community, everyone's always watching the imam, how he lives his life. And that's why I don't even walk out of my house in a shorts that's showing my knees. Why? Because if I wear that, I'm being very honest, even if I have to go to the letterbox, I wear the 3/4 at least. So my knees are not showing. My children go to the movies. I'm not going to sit over here and say I'm some kind of an angel. And they watch these children movies. One of the children movies, someone bumped to my wife and they said, where is Sheikh? And my wife said, he doesn't come to cinemas. At least the community person was trying to get endorsement. The Sheikh comes to cinemas, so we can go to cinemas as well. I don't go to the cinemas. But yeah, they were watching a movie, there's these cartoon movies, my children go. I'm not going to sit over here and say, I am some kind of a devout person that you have to follow my example. We're humans. We all have errors. You know, we have to work in our life and we have to become better people. But I try to be a sort of a mirror for the community. There are things I have done in my life that I'm not really proud of, but I am living my life as if I want to make people proud. So I don't know when people can't, you know, our community is always looking for that little, you know, that little break so they can come and they can say, oh, the Sheikh was doing that. You know, people say, do you go to the gym? And I said, yeah, I go to the gym when I'm sleeping. I was like, what does that mean? I was like, yeah, I'm at the gym when I'm sleeping, but when I'm awake, I'm not at the gym. So I'm dreaming in the gym. So that's what I do. So, you know, it's a problem when you are a leader in the community. If you're in the gym, or look at the Sheikh, he was pumping his muscle, wearing a singlet, showing his muscles. So you can't even go to the gym. So you have a difficult life, brothers and sisters. It's not easy. But you know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps us steadfast.